You replayed the orientation holo video over and over again on your compad, recalling how strange and important it all seemed. You recalled how scared the messy gnome scientist in the video was as he stared through the window into space. His eyes were wide and tired. That gnome was Professor Orryn-Talfough-Gogglefogger, an inventor who claimed to have the solution to the verse's biggest problem. Once more you recalled the contents of the video and its every little detail. Professor Orryn fiddled with his rolled-up sleeves, lit a space cigarette, and began to turn directly at the holocam. He spoke with a hint of knowing sadness in his voice.
That's me, Spacers, and I am in a lot of trouble. It's not your fault this is happening, not entirely. Maybe you will save my life, I hope. No, now's not the time. Listen, you have to understand, the Talfough Matrix, my prototype, is going to change everything. We'll be able to travel into dead magic zones with dark matter ships. We'll be able to colonize and explore planets using magic. We will rewrite the interstellar boundaries. The thing about it is, change is terrifying. Possibilities in the impossible. It brings out the best and the worst in people. You'll see what I mean soon enough.
And then the holo video ended with the professor putting out his half-smoked cigarette and reaching a shaking hand to turn off the camera.
Welcome to Conspiracy in the Stars. We are LFM Network. We are doing a sponsored show here with Mage Hand Press today. This is the Conspiracy in the Stars module that you can see on their Kickstarter, which is super exciting, and I'm very excited to be a part of it and very excited to tell the story today for all of you. My name is Mythomatic. I'll be your games master, your dungeon master, also your narrator today. I'm super excited to be here with all these wonderful people. Let's go around and let's talk about who we are and who our characters are and where we fit inside the Stars Will bar. Let's go ahead and start off with Noir.
Hello, everyone. I'm Noir Enigma. You can find me on all the socials as the Noir Enigma, and I am playing Edward Cross, just a human in the verse, making his living, bartending at the Whoa Nelly, just living his life kind of. The Whoa Nelly bar, just kind of wishing that I was doing more than that, hoping that maybe one day I could find an adventure.
Nice. Awesome. Love it. Let's go over to Bree.
So, my name is Bree. I can be found on Twitter as Brito with 3 E's. And I am going to be playing Soul, who is half human, half cyborg. They actually just woke up in an alley, and they have no recollection of what happened before that time. So it's just about gathering their bearings and trying to figure out where they are, why they're there, and what exactly is going on.
Thank you. Renee? What? Hold on, what's going on? Well, there we go. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Who are you playing?
Doing very well. I'm Renee Rhodes, and I am playing Rue Nazra. And Rue is a cat-like, near-human void cleric who has found herself in Port Nomad for a little while now. And a little while is relative to her. She goes wherever she has fun, and she's had fun here long enough, but she often has a great time checking in at the Whoa Nelly and hanging out with Edward and teasing, nagging some of the other patrons. So you'll find her there often enough.
Nice. Thank you very much. And we are, last but not least, joined by Justin from Mage Hand Press.
Hi.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty excited to be here. So I'm playing Sean Deckard. He is freelancer, smuggler. Someone will pay him coin, he'll do a job. kind of type. He's been here scouting out the location since he got a message from a gnome needing protection. He's spent a lot of time at the Wonelli, just trying to unwind.
Nice. So you've heard it from our players and some of our the characters as well that we've been hired by something, or we've been hired by an entity, and also a person known as Professor Orryn-Talfough-Gogglefogger, excuse me. He is a gnome professor who he's on the brink of some really cool tech. Well, I guess we could probably have him explain it a little bit more. Let's go ahead and get back into it. There's a little bit more I could show you here.
That was several weeks ago. But the events that led you here have been replaying in your mind ever since they transpired just hours before. You traveled from across the verse and found yourself at the Star's Will Bar, a city joint in Port Nomad. At one end of the bar was a dimly lit, empty marble stage, with a piano set up against the back wall. The bar was populated, but not overly crowded, with a variety of individuals from many different races and cultures gathered to witness the presentation that they've all been invited to. In front of the stage were a row of seats that have been set up specifically for the presentation. Beyond the seats were a row of dark booths, some more poorly lit and perfect for whispered conversations. Several round tables were set between the stage area and the bar itself, where a few people were sat drinking or taking the opportunity to gamble their credits away. The bar top of the Star's Will was a long and metal one. Behind it, several Vex bartenders worked hard to keep up with the demands of the clientele. Beside the bar was a large window looking out into the vastness of outer space.
Okay, so I think we will start today maybe following Edward. I think the camera pans as we see Edward make his way towards a different bar. Usually he makes his way towards the Wonelli, which is probably right down the street, or what you would call a street inside of a hollowed out crater, or a hollowed out asteroid, known as Port Nomad. Down the street is the Wonelli bar, but in front of Edward now is the Star's Will. He has a holotape in one hand and a stranger behind him. That stranger is going to be Mr. Sean Deckard, who is joined here. I guess both Justins, Noir and Justin. Justin, could you tell us a little bit about this job that you've picked up, and maybe potentially why Noir has picked it up as well?
Well, Sean has been hired by Professor Orryn to run security at the Star's Will to make sure that nothing goes sideways while he presents his new invention in this incredibly seedy bar. And after he heard that Edward ended up having to pick up a shift at the Star's Will and didn't get that vacation day that he may have wanted, Sean saw it as an opportunity to get an extra pair of eyes on the area.
Awesome. Yeah. I think we see a couple of people come out of the bar. One of them is stumbling, and his friend is trying to get them out. It looks like it's like midday-ish. I mean, it's hard to say what day is when you're out in space, but it's mid collective circadian cycle that everyone has here on the asteroid. But stumbling out at midday is a friend and their drunk friend. They pass right by, and I think they bump right into you, Edward, and they go, sorry, he's really drunk. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. And I think you may be holding your bartending gear, like you've got your shaker and everything.
Got a little duffel bag. I just go, gee, just get him some water and lay him down, okay?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, are you gonna work right now? Are you getting? It's pretty busy in there. They're gonna need all the help they can get.
Yeah, I'm working. Not relaxing like I planned, not like I requested 2 weeks ago, but hey, no, I'm working. Extra dollars.
Okay, all right. Well, we gotta go. I'm sorry. And you see, he starts to shuffle his friend out. There is a half orc at the entrance. He's got a clipboard, and he's standing with what looks like to be someone that is like a host as well. And he turns and goes, "Hey, Edward."
Yeah, that's me.
All right, we're gonna need your help. We got one of our bartenders just malfunctioned, so it's gonna be a bit weird, but we do need to get you in there as fast as you can. Just go right on back. Yeah. The event should be starting soon.
Right, the event. All right, yeah. I'll get right on back there.
All right. Wait, who's this? Who are you?
This is my buddy. He's with me.
The name is Sean Deckard.
Sean Deckard, okay. You're gonna stay out here while
Security for the...
Security. 1 second, please. You see he goes inside, he has an earpiece and he mumbles to it. 1 sec. And he disappears into the crowd, or into the door. The doors open. They close behind him as well as he makes his way inside, and you are left for a couple of moments. At this time, there is stumbling out of, I shouldn't say stumbling out, striding out of the alleyway nearby is someone we have not yet met. Soul, could you describe how you are appearing?
Yeah.
As you make your way into the streets.
So half of their body is actually covered in stainless steel. It looks like it's been put together nicely into this cyborg kind of form. And on the other side of their body, it's completely human. And they have a scar on their lower lip. And so far, it doesn't really seem like they're like having anything special on their being or anything. And all of the clothes that they had, they're gone. So they're kind of just roaming out in the street, just confused and wondering what's happening. Why do I feel so cold? You know? So, yeah.
So are you in your nude form, or do you have any coverings at all?
I'm in my nude form right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see this, both Edward and Sean. You see it looks like a near human form, kind of stride gracefully out of the side of this building, the side of this bar. Are you covering up at all, or are you just confidently striding on out?
I'm confidently striding out because I don't get the cue that...
Right.
Yeah, so...
Okay. And this person just sort of starts looking around, curious, like.
Well, the scene is... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Excuse me, ma'am?
Yes?
I mean, do what you want, but you are aware that you're not covered.
I am?
Yeah.
Take this, and he takes off his jacket and just hands it to you.
How do I put this on?
Well, this is not what I thought I'd be doing today.
Oh man, what kind of drinks am I going to be serving?
You're going to put your arms in the sleeves right there, and you're just going to, close the jacket up, and it'll cover everything.
Okay. So they go ahead and do as instructed, and it
The long coat that you
fits.
give?
Yep.
Okay.
It's very oversized, but they kind of just comfortably close it, and they're just standing there with their hands out, like, is this how it's supposed to go?
Close enough. Let's head in here as soon as the bouncer lets us in.
Hey, you got a name?
Soul?
Nice to meet you, Soul. I'm Edward. Where are you coming from?
I'm Sean.
And as you two say your names, Soul's cyborg eye starts to glow a little bit, and you hear like the tiny beeps in their head as they kind of record that data for later, just to kind of remember. But then they kind of come back to, and they're like, sorry, repeat your question.
The shift just started. All right, yeah. Where are you coming from?
I do not know.
Oh boy. All right. You got a place to go? You got people? You got people?
I do not know.
Hell. He just kind of looks over at Sean like, can't just leave him. Like I got my shift's about to start, and I can't just. Hey, you know. This one's having a rough one. Look,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, look, worst case, if you stick around here after the shift's over, or after my shift's over, or whatever, I can see about getting you a place to, sleep.
Okay.
Hey, and I was a little presumptuous earlier when I said, can you, what do you identify as? I would want to make sure that I'm addressing you properly, other than your name.
Gender? Are you referring to gender?
Of course.
I don't necessarily have data on that.
So, they them?
Yes.
Noted.
At this point, the half-orc comes back out, and he's like, Edward, yeah, come on in. And Sean, yeah, I didn't know you were security. The professor would like to see you. And at this point, I think you have. How close are you with Rue, your friend who comes to the bar a lot? Enough where that she may call you if.
Yeah, he would have gave Rue a number, just like, okay, don't get yourself in any trouble, but you're going to. So if you do, you need somebody here.
Sure. I think at this point we jump cut over to the Wonelli where Rue is just sitting down. Rue, could you explain a little bit what Rue looks like? Renee, could you explain what Rue looks like and a little bit about her physical appearance here?
Yeah, so Rue is dressed pretty casually, but a little bit rough and tumble at the same time. She's got orangish blonde hair, as well as some orange blonde patches of fur across her face, and presumably other places on her body, but are covered by some long black sleeves. She's got tufted ears, and she has kind of like this blue accessory theme with a lot of sparkles. So she's got couple necklaces. She's got a couple of earrings and like some gauges, and she's got some bracelets, and they're all just kind of packed around some of the assets that she has on her wrists that are like built into her gear, but she just finds places to put them wherever.
Wonderful. So you sit down at the bar and you go to, I think you probably slide over the menu, and then you look up from the menu to find
You're not Edward.
Edward, and Edward is not there. Edward is always here today. This is the shift you usually come in and have a drink and catch up a bit. One of the other bartenders is shaking a cocktail and goes, "Oh, hey, Rue, I'm supposed to give this to you," and slides a number across the bar.
Good, because you're not Edward, and I was really hoping for Edward. That's no any offense to you. It's just that you're not Edward.
Yes. Correct.
Bye.
He just like walks away awkwardly.
She just.
He says hi as he's ringing in someone from across the bar. Hi.
Yeah.
He's just
Rude
kind of-
turns to the person and just says, "They're gonna serve you great, whoever they are," and runs out of the bar with a number. And we'll go ahead and give Edward a call.
Okay.
The second
Across
it
the
picks up-
street-ish, a phone rings. Edward, and you were saying something, Renee? I'm sorry.
Oh no, the second it picks up. Edward, hi, where are you? You're not at the bar. I don't understand. This is where you are every time.
Yes, I know. Look, I
Are you
couldn't.
sick? Are you dying?
No, quite the opposite. They
Okay.
needed some help out here over at the.
Did you get fired?
No. In fact, Big Nell has sent me over here to the Stars Will to help out a bit instead of giving me the vacation that I requested 2 weeks ago. So
Oh, that doesn't actually sound fun. But fun. Can I come find you?
Yeah. There. I'll see if I can get you in. There's this big orc guy. He seems like he might, have an attitude.
I can handle big orc guys.
Please don't get in any trouble. Look,
I won't.
I don't.
Oh. Sidebar. If you took a vacation, would we still hang out?
Yeah. Once I come back, are you asking to go on vacation with? Never mind. Hey, in fact, this is perfect. Look, Rue, can I? I don't ask you for favors, but I kind of have a favor that I need to ask you. If you're coming out anyway, So I made a new friend. Her name's Soul. She's a little lost. I just need somebody to keep an eye on her, make sure she don't get in any trouble until we get out and we can find a way to help her out properly.
New friends.
Yeah, so yeah, if you come help them out, I greatly appreciate it. They're just in a coat. Don't ask questions.
Meanwhile, the manager is leaning outside of the door, and he's got the clipboard still, and he's like,
Yeah. Sorry, Ru, I gotta go. It's really busy. Just look for the person in the long coat and help them out. All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
He just
Awesome.
spreads.
yeah. Yep. And with a beep, we hang up and we see Edward just disappear. So I think Sean, both you and Saul are left out just outside. He goes, "Oh, I gotta go," and then just disappears into the Stars of Will. The door opens for a moment, and you hear a crowd for a second. You see that the bar does seem to be, for this moment, it does seem to be overwhelmed with people. Not a lot of people, just there's a lot of people at the bar right now. The doors closed, and it's just you left out in the silence and the hum of the port.
All right, so I got a job that I gotta do. Gotta, make sure everything's safe in here. Let's have you come in here where we can get you situated in just a minute. All right?
Okay.
All right. Come. They can come in, right? You're not going to give me any trouble on this. Addressing the.
Yeah, they also security. So I didn't get any names.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. They're security.
Are they or aren't they?
Yes, they're security. Mm-hmm.
All right. Come on. Sure. What? It kind of just like gives you the up down of like what the. You're not wearing anything. And they kind of just, whatever, can let her come on in, and lets you in as well. So as you enter the room here, it opens up to be a large space. There seems to be a stage set in the back. I believe, actually, I'm going to play this again because it has a lot of the...
That was several weeks ago. But the events that led you here have been replaying in your mind ever since they transpired just hours before. You traveled from across the verse and found yourself at the Star's Will Bar, a city joint in Port Nomad. At one end of the bar was a dimly lit, empty marble stage, with a piano set up against the back wall. The bar was populated, but not overly crowded, with a variety of individuals from many different races and cultures gathered to witness the presentation that they've all been invited to. In front of the stage were a row of seats that have been set up specifically for the presentation. Beyond the seats were a row of dark booths, some more poorly lit and perfect for whispered conversations. Several round tables were set between the stage area and the bar itself, where a few people were sat drinking or taking the opportunity to gamble their credits away. The bar top of the Star's Will was a long and metal one. Behind it, several Vex bartenders worked hard to keep up with the demands of the clientele. Beside the bar was a large window looking out into the vastness of outer space.
So the bar, like I said earlier, like the nice man said, is pretty busy. There is a bit of a rush, but a lot of people are starting to make their seats. There's several figures here and individuals. There are a couple sitting at a dark booth in the corner. There is one by themselves over by a starry window. There seems to be a large hulking figure wearing what looks like to be ancient diving gear as well, and they are in a booth just staring out into the stars. Edward, you make your way towards the inside of the bar and notice that one of the Vex bartenders has been malfunctioning and has a sign that says out of order, though he is arguing with the other bartender, saying that he's perfectly fine and can continue working, and this is why they had brought you in. So I will show you one of these here. Give me a second, if it works. Hello. Nice. So that is that's our bar here. That is the Star's Will. Edward, you are behind the bar. And we've got several people and a couple who are just playing cards right in the center there, in that center table. The booth over towards the left has what looks like to be these two people that look like they could be siblings. And they're kind of like jostling each other and like poking and prodding, and looks like they're arguing about something. There seems to be a menacing half-orc looking fellow standing by that booth as well. Far over by the stage, there seems to be that a person getting ready to present, and off in the booth towards their left, or I guess stage left, there is also it looks like it to be a tech team where they're fiddling with a bunch of different gizmos and things, trying to get the presentation ready to start. Looks like everybody's getting around for pre-drinks or like cocktail hour before the event. And at this point, I think this is probably when Sol and Sean both walk in.
All right.
Would you like to do it?
So I gotta talk to that man down there. If you could just find yourself one of these booths, get comfortable. I'll get back to you in a minute. All right?
Okay. So, Sol is going to go over to the bar with nobody in it. And
all right.
They're just going to sit down.
All right. So Sol makes their way over to the bar and sits right down. A familiar face sits down at the bar as you are setting up, Edward. Is that friend that you have met out front?
I just, as I'm, cleaning some of the dishes, I'm just like, you need a drink? Food?
I'm okay.
Alright, here, and I just slide a glass of water, just in case for later, huh?
Yes.
Alright. And then he just, okay, I'll be right there. He's fucking fill out some of the drink orders.
Yeah. There's a huge, like, the ticket machine is still, and it looks like the drinks that you have to make are for the restaurant, and you are doing service bar while there's an event going on. The crowd did die down from bothering the bar, but now they need you to help pick up the drink tickets as that ticket machine keeps going off. It doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. I think at this point also we will make our way towards Sean as he strides down over towards the stage, but we'll check in on Sean in a second. Rue, you make your way out front of the Stars Will Bar. It's a bar you've probably been to a couple times before, but you don't frequent nearly as much as you do the Wonelli. It does look like it's busy out front, and there is also a half-orc with a clipboard and an earpiece. It looks like he's ushering people in and also trying to manage what looks like to be a new person. It could be their first day at the host stand. Can I help you?
I recognize this half-orc. Have they been here before when I've come, or no?
He has been here before. You've seen his face is very familiar. You do know that he's been here for probably about just as long as every time that you've been here, he's been the manager. He usually comes in and will deliver food and stuff. Hi. Hey, can I help you?
Yes, I'm here for the bar, please.
The bar for the event?
Yes.
Okay. Name?
I'm coming for the event, Rue. My friend Edward came earlier, and another friend I don't know yet who's in a very long coat.
Oh, are you here for some? So Edward is friends with security. Yeah, all right, come on in.
Yes, thank you.
It looks like he's like fiddling with what could be. It's the host's first day. They're trying to fiddle and trying to manage the floor map of the restaurant, right? And they're having trouble, and it looks like the manager is just too busy to actually care that much. So he's just like, yeah, come on in, and he opens up the door, and then he corrects their mistake. And the door's open, and you see a very... Yep, go ahead.
Rue has a pretty high insight and is proficient in it, so given this information, she just kind of like leans forward to the new host and says, "You've got this," and then like waves at the orc, walks in.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. It's my first day. Sorry, so you want me to? Yeah, all right, you're gonna want to just highlight and then drop that one there. And then they continue on as the doors close behind you.
Rue walks in and just to herself is like, wow, that went a lot better than it could have.
Yeah. You go in and it does look like it's not a busy bar anymore, and you're not quite sure why Edward was called in for this. Edward, you see that Rue has also just made their way in.
I'll make my way over to Edward right away.
Awesome.
It's just like pouring like a bad man. Hey, Rue.
Hey, that half-orc didn't give me any trouble. I didn't have to throw a tantrum or cast any spells or anything.
I'm proud of you. Usually, I would expect you to go with the most chaotic option first, but you didn't. I'm proud of you.
Look, I said I wouldn't cause any trouble, and do I ever lie?
No. You might modify the amount of truth I'm exposed to, but you don't lie.
That's an excellent way of putting it.
Sir, I see you. I will be right there.
All right. Well, I need a drink here. Okay. It seems, and this looks like there's a squat-looking dwarf. He's got gray, long beard, and his slick back, probably in a top knot, gray hair. He's got looks like to be light armor. It could be flight armor, but it also seems to be industrious, as he is kind of slapping his large mitt on the bar top, as he's like, I need 2 drinks here. I've been waiting for a while. 2 prototypes. And prototypes are the cocktail of the day today.
Oh goodness. Okay, yeah, prototypes. I mean, of course, the cocktail of the day, at least 4 different mixtures. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I'm happy with this.
And there's
Excuse
a really
me, this bartender is amazing. When you get your drinks, you're gonna love them. So just like chill.
I'll chill when I get my drinks. I've been waiting about 5 minutes now. Oh, 6 minutes now for these
Prototypes,
drinks.
I'm guessing, are also totally chilled. So it'll be perfect.
Okay. And here you go, sir. Sorry about that. You know what? I'll get you priority next time, little guy. So, all right.
All right, well. And you see, he starts to make his way, sloshes a couple of them, and he tries to like sip the top of them so they don't spill all over him as he makes his way over to the gaming table and starts to play cards again. Let's go over to Sean. Sean, you make your way over to the stage, and there's a very busy-looking gnome. He's got looks like bleach blonde hair. Doesn't match two-tone. Doesn't match his facial hair, as he has a goatee that is also looks like it has been overly waxed. There is still the dried wax and smudge that he's trying to look very professional and presentable. He may be the person that you are looking for, as he is hitting knobs and trying to like adjust some straps on this device on his chest, as he is then trying to turn on and figure out the microphone situation.
Professor.
Yes?
Oh,
that is me, yes, hello.
And you see he's still fiddling, he barely looks up.
Uh-huh.
It's Sean Deckard. You hired me for security?
Deckard, oh, John.
Yeah, I'm a little late because, they wouldn't let me in earlier, but I'm here now. But I have to ask, like, of all the places to showcase scientific breakthroughs,
Right.
this bar? This bar,
Well,
really?
yes, of course, this bar. Well, it was a pretty inexpensive a venue. We were able to acquire.
And he gestures to the his other gnome entourage in the corner as they kind of give him a thumbs up, and he's like,
Okay, and we were doing. It was a very inexpensive event and venue, as because it's one stop. All right, this is our first stop, and then we're gonna be heading over to Gnome next, I think. And then what's after that? What? We don't have anything after this. This is it. Okay, well, this is it. We're gonna start here and then see where it goes. Hopefully, the presentation will be mind-blowing. It really is, because a lot of what I've been working on is the Talfough Matrix is going to be a fantastic prototype that I believe we can. Do you have some time?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're paying me to be here.
Okay, great. So it's not by the hour, it's by the event. So, I mean, it's really your choice if you want to hear this. I will go into something rather long, and I mean, it may be really hard for you to understand, but I would love to explain the Matrix to you.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, great. Well, first, how much time do we have? Not much? Okay, well, go get a drink. I have to figure out what's going. All right, 1 second. What do you mean you can't? You can't? The microphone's not working? Hello.
All right, you take care of your tech, and I'm gonna go make sure that nothing goes sideways.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I will. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Sean.
Yeah, Sean. Yes.
Sean. Okay. Great. Thank you. All right. I'm gonna drink. Put it on my tab or something, and have fun or something. Also, do you know how microphones work here? I'm having an issue. I can't quite get this.
Here, just Sean grabs it, unplugs it, plugs it back in. Did that fix it?
Hello? Yes, that worked. Thank you. Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. It works.
as you kind of make your way back over towards the bar. So yeah, back over at the bar, Edward, you are just finishing off those drink tickets. You are tired.
Okay, 2 more prototypes. There you go. What else? What's next? Nothing? Cool.
That seems to be it, as the Vect kind of looks at you and stares back at everyone else.
You're still doing great. And at this point, Rue has entirely turned to Sol, who she imagines is her new friend, because Sol is wearing this long jacket, and that is how they were described to Rue, so it must be true.
And this whole time, Sol has been drinking water, but slowly but surely, their chest piece and their arm is starting to kind of spark and smoke, because I mean, a cyborg drinking water, and they're not kind of noticing, and they're just like casually just looking around.
Hi, are you aware that you might catch on fire soon?
What?
Oh, well, you're kind of sparking a little bit. I'm Rue. I'm supposed to be your new friend. If you're okay with that, I like new friends.
The same thing that happened with Edward and Sean. Their eye glows, and you can hear little beeps in their head, and then they look at you and they're like, "Nice to meet you, Rue."
Oh, I think maybe that the water might be what's causing the little, like... Do you see what I mean?
I do kind of feel a malfunction now, so I'm just going to put this over here.
Yeah. Do you know what you would normally drink? Do you drink anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you remember anything?
I remember Edward and Sean.
Okay.
And a coat.
Coat? Yeah, I mean, that's a good start. Edward's a pretty good person to remember if you're going to remember anybody. Here's his number. Hands Sol.
What is this used for?
It's if you're ever in trouble, you can call Edward, because he's the person that you call.
Call?
But also, he says don't get into trouble, so I listen. Sometimes.
Okay. So Sol's just gonna put the number in their pocket and still don't know what to do with it, so they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you could just remember it, and then it's already in my phone. So, so do you remember your name? Because that's a great place to start.
Sol.
Okay. What about pronouns? How do you identify?
Sean said earlier they them.
Oh, okay. They them. And this coat, it's not yours?
It's Sean's.
Oh, okay. So you don't know what you like to wear either?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Rue pulls out a number of accessories and lays them all out in front of Sol and says, "Which one of these do you like most?"
So what exactly do Rue's accessories look like?
So I'd like to kind of just open it up to everybody and see kind of what they think. All options are on the table. Anything that sparks joy for Rue or is like right, interesting, dynamic, she would collect.
All right, so I've got 2 things that I know Rue has because Edward gave them to her from his lost and found at the Low Deli. Somebody left a glass ring, so she has that. And there's a bracelet made out of hemp and wood, like one of those like hipstery bracelets. So
Okay.
he has that as well. So those are my contributions.
Are these all bracelets we are putting together, or are they just things?
Well, there's any accessory. So there's a class ring so far and a bracelet so far.
Okay, I think there's going to be Go on.
I feel like maybe, I don't know if it was stolen, gifted, or acquired through happenstance, but a badge that indicates that someone is a member of the Scalen Fang has fallen into the possession of Rue, who has since turned it into a necklace.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you don't know whether any of this stuff is stolen, found, or gifted, so...
And I think there's going to be an old security patch.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. And then there's one that's just like a bunch of colorful links. It's like, it's almost like a rainbow, but it's kind of muted, and each link of the chain is a different color.
Nice.
I think Rue would also have silver earrings with little red dice on the end of them. I don't know where she would get them from. She probably found them like on a sidewalk or something, but she's like, ooh, those look nice.
Yes, perfect. So she lays all of these, and these are not like the accessories she was wearing at the time. She like pulled them out, so she just has these and like lays them out on the countertop and asks, so which one do you feel like you like most?
So Soul is going to look down at the accessories, and they're going to point at the bracelet and then just one of the earrings, since they only have one human ear. And yeah. I like those two.
Here, you can have them. And even if we don't exactly know who you are, and you may not exactly know who you are, you can start expressing yourself with these.
Okay. So
I express myself a lot. She holds up like the bracelets on her arms.
Yeah. None of them match.
So Soul picks up both of the accessories, and they're just holding them in both hands.
Oh, do you need any? Do you mind?
And so Soul takes one hand and like puts the bracelet against their forehead, and it just drops into their lap, and they pick it up again. And then they just like put it against their cyborg side, against their face, drops again.
Here.
So they just hand them to you.
Okay, so Rue will at first like kind of hold out her hand and wait for Soul to put their hand out as well.
Okay, so they go ahead and do that.
And she'll clasp the bracelet on, and then for the earring it's a little bit more complicated. She's like, okay, so this is gonna go in your ear, but like it's not gonna hurt because there's already like there's a little hole in it's pierced. So I'm just gonna put it in your ear on your left side.
Okay.
Okay. Hold still. And done.
Is it in there?
It's in there. And Rue fishes around in some of her pockets that are like kind of pouched onto her little like cargo getup, and opens one of them and pulls out a little hand mirror and shows Soul what they look like with the earring on. What do you think?
I like it.
It's perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Should I drink more water?
Oh, I wouldn't do that if it starts you on fire.
Did I hear more water?
That'll happen for sure. Oh, okay.
Bartender ears. Water? Who needs water?
Wait.
Just another cup slides down.
Yeah.
Hydration.
I'll drink that. I'll take that.
That reminds me, I need water.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
That's right.
Just keep Edward's number, and if anything happens to you, call it. But if you want to just stick with us, like, I'm not doing anything for the rest of the day because I finished my earlier jobs. I was like carrying a refrigerator across the street for someone. And I already did that and got my pay for the day. So I was going to come and just drink a little bit with Edward, who's my friend. He's over there. Hi, Edward.
Hey, you need a drink?
Nope.
Food?
And then, nope.
Okay.
Just hanging out with you. Isn't he great?
Sure.
And we can talk. I can tell you about my day.
Okay.
Edward, go ahead and make me a history check.
All right, let's do this. First roll.
Is there history? There's history in this, right?
12
Yeah, there's
is
history.
what I rolled.
All right, good.
And I have a +1 in it, so 13 total.
Okay. Edward, you remember this.
At the mostly empty bar top, the smell of stale alcohol was abundant. Curious and sticky bottles lined the back wall, reflected an infinite number of times by the two angled mirrors. A large display showed the prices for the beverages in credits, translated into a variety of languages. The cocktail of the day was the prototype. A few stools down from you at the corner of the bar was Sir Helio Horace, the chief of security in Port Gnomeland, a figure you met briefly when you first arrived at the station. Helio was an Aviara wearing red platinum armor and a half-helm. He watched the room like a hawk. His proud features showcased a colorful plumage that partly hid a few of his old scars on his feathered face. At his side hung a disabled energy longsword. At the other end of the bar sat a matronly elven woman. She dressed more audaciously than anyone in the room, wearing an electric pink gown accented by strange sharp angles that matched a very long pink mohawk. She was sipping on a brilliant blue fizzing cocktail and smiled knowingly at you.
There's two figures. One at the end of the bar is an Aviara wearing red plate, and on the other end is a person who is an elf with a bright pink mohawk, who seems to be watching you.
Edward freezes and like he's just still for like several seconds longer than he should be, just kind of zoned out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and I think both Rue and Soul see this. Yeah, you kind of like, you were talking, you slid the drink over, and then you kind of stopped for a moment.
Yeah.
And this happened.
It's like water, food.
And it's just deja vu washes over you as this happens. You look up and you see that there is the Aviara, and you look over to your left, and down at the other end of the bar is that person staring at you.
Mr. Horace? A prototype for you, sir?
Yeah, I'll take it, thanks. As he grabs the drink and he slides the straw up through a chipped part of his beak, and you just see the surface just kind of sinks a little bit into the ice.
Like once he responds to the name, there's just like a look of confusion and a little bit of fear. Right, yeah.
Everything all right?
Well,
What's the matter, kid?
busy day. Busy day.
Yeah.
How about yourself, sir? How are you?
Well, it's not busy for me, and that's good, because it's been, you know, if it was busy, then we'd probably be in a lot more danger. So that's good, right? He kind of smiles a toothy grin. It does look like these are false teeth shoved into a beak.
That's I mean, you're suited for action. I can only imagine.
Well, I gotta be. If I'm gonna keep this place protected and keep it secure, I'm gonna have to be. I'm ready. I'm strapped. He likes to talk about how, like, he's very pompous in his combat prowess, and he does like to always brag about that he is ready to fight. Like, you know, he's like, I will throw down if I have to.
Yeah,
you start seeing the drink slowly, like the surface slowly go down as he's kind of
like
just drinking.
before it can even hit the bottom, there's another one waiting for him. He does I'm here with a friend of mine doing some security. Yeah.
Oh, security.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
You're doing
the life
security.
action. No, not me. I couldn't. I'm just, I just sling drinks.
Right. Well, yeah.
Right. I'm sorry, Ilya. I'll leave it to you crazy adventure types. So sorry about that. And
oh, it's all right.
I go over to the pink mohawk.
Yeah, he grabs that last cocktail, puts the empty glass down, and he turns as he starts to back away into the shadows and just watches everyone. And maybe, I think he may switch to a water, because you're always dropping waters off. So he grabs a water and he backs away and starts just to watch and patrol, really. He is a security officer here at Port Nomad. He does frequent all the time. He does this everywhere. He comes in and does the patrol. So but you head on over.
Battlecrats. Yeah, I head on over to the elven mohawk lady. I just go, can I get you anything?
Well, you already have. She finishes a drink.
Anything else?
She puts it down.
It's just, it finally quieted down. I can give better service to people now. Yeah.
It's okay. You're doing great.
Thank you.
You have a ticket, by the way.
Oh,
and I think, and just as you look over, there's no ticket, and then you look back and you hear, and then a ticket pops up.
that was, yeah. He just gets the ticket. I better make this.
Okay, I'll have a water whenever you're ready.
Absolutely, he just slides in. He's got waters on the ready.
Yeah. Yeah, she holds her hand out, but she goes, I'll take a water, and she puts her hand out ready to catch it, and then you go over and slide it, and it lands right in her hand, and she grabs it and continues drinking, and then winks at you.
You're fast. And you know things. You're fast and you know... You mind if I ask you a really silly question?
I know you're going to.
Right, like that. Like, do you think it's possible to know things before they happen? Yeah.
Yes.
I think I do that sometimes. It's all just like,
really?
Yeah. Like I saw you and him, and I knew his name. I can't get a beat on anything about you. I'm not drunk.
I'm Oracle Thessalia. It's my job to know things before they happen. I'm proof.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. Well, that's Oracle. That's cool. Maybe one day I can. Yeah. So enjoy your drink. I'm gonna go with this ticket.
We'll see. And she turns and continues to look and looks out the window.
Like he just
yeah, and you make your way back over to pour the ticket. Sean, what are you doing during this time as you make your way back?
Well, Sean's going to be trying to get to know the most concerning party here, and it's those three halflings. sitting at the on that booth.
At that booth.
Yeah.
Sure. So you want to make your way over there?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's where I'm headed.
Okay, you make your way over. There is a woman laughing as she's playing cards, and you hear the dwarf across the table from her. He sort of just grumbles as she kind of laughs and takes a hand again and takes a bunch of money that was put on the table, or a bunch of things that would represent money in this case, or chips, and she scoots them a little bit towards her as she giggles. The combat armored half-orc that is standing there goes, "Hey, hold on. You got an appointment with these people?"
I'm running security in this event, so while I appreciate that you are these three's bodyguard, I do need to
All right.
Yeah. For Gogglefogger over there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gogglefogger security. All right. Well, fine. And he leans against the booth again, and you make your way over towards the booth with these three halflings.
Hello.
1 second.
As you approach the large booth, a heavily armed half-orc that stands guard next to it eyed you dutifully, but without too much concern. A haze of smoke hung over the booth and rose from an ashtray of snubbed space cigarettes that stunk of burnt herbs and licorice. A sandy-haired halfling in a white suit took out another cigarette from an inner jacket pocket. You remember his hand shook nervously as he fumbled for his lighter.
How can you have lost it already?
The female halfling from across the table snapped. The two looked like they could be brother and sister.
It's here. I know it is. Sorry, Kiri. I think there must be a hole in the seat.
The nervous halfling squeaked out, then pulled up a tuft of gray gauzy foam from underneath him. With a sharp click, a buzzing neon lighter ignited, and it was gently extended across the table by a third halfling, older than the other two and wearing a dark suit. He lit the nervous halfling's cigarette, slid his lighter back into his suit pocket, and then looked at you and smiled. Despite a soft roundness to his face, there was something a little sinister about that smile.
Here to take a seat.
The smiling halfling offered.
So, holding out a lighter in front of you and a cigarette,
Here to take a seat.
this halfling says he's got what looks like to be a fedora, an old ratted fedora, as well as like this formal-looking black armor, which is not seen often out here. And let me do one of these. Can you show you this? That's not right. There we go. So you see this scene. There is the halfling lighting his cigarette, and he offers the seat as he scoots just a little bit to his right.
Can we help you?
All right. I'll take that seat, and also if you could give me a light real quick.
Yeah, of course, here.
He holds out the lighter again, lights your cigarette, waits for you to puff.
All right, so
Licks it and puts it away.
I'm running security for Gogglefogger over there, and anytime I see three people with clearly a whole lot of money in a place like this, I'm gonna have questions.
Wow, you got a lot of money. You hear that? Quite observant.
Sure.
Quite observant. I mean, I don't have a lot, but these two do.
And then you hear Kenny go, one of the male halfling goes, what? Hey, okay, excuse me, hi. Who are you?
The name is Sean Deckett.
Hi, nice to meet you. Kenny. This is my sister. Hi, Kiri.
And she says, can we help you?
Just trying to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And, you look out a little out of place in the Star Swill bar, so wanted to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Out of place? What do you mean?
Have you seen Port Nomad? Just in general.
Yes, I have.
Now, look at the fine suit that you've decided to wear to a place that, it's not the worst bar in the port, but certainly not something I'd be wearing that to. That's a good way to get mugged, attacked, pickpocketed. I mean, sure, you got him over there, clearly a consummate professional, cost you a pretty penny. But what exactly?
Yeah, it costs a pretty penny.
And you see you hear the one with the dark hat.
Yeah, it did. This is Tiberius. You know Tiberius Vinter?
And would you know that name? This is...
Well, as a defector of the coalition, yes,
you
I
probably
know
would
that
have.
name.
Yeah, I figured. So Tiberius being one of the most expensive bounty hunters in the verse, for those of you who are watching and also anybody else. And that is who you've walked by to get here. Very expensive. So they go, yeah, we know, but that's why we have Tiberius. We can wear whatever we want, right, Tiberius? And he grunts.
So, I appreciate that, it's Tiberius, but what I'm concerned is less what people are going to do to you and what you might do to other people when I'm trying to make sure that everything goes smoothly.
What are you implying? Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, let's just tell me, like, you're here in this bar with, one of the most expensive guns for hire in the verse. You're just here for scientific curiosity?
Well, if you must know, we are here looking to invest, potentially. Yes, potentially.
Says the one with the dark armor.
We are here to invest in the technology that we are probably going to get presented to us. You see, we've heard nothing but good things about the matrix of Talfough's matrix, whatever. And if it isn't worth its salt, then the Galactic Bank is going to want to have a piece of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does that matter?
And, if that's all we're here for, and we're gonna make everything above board, completely legitimate business, and, nothing shady under the table, then we're not gonna have a problem.
I don't see.
But, there's rumors, of, certain
rumors?
corporation tied to the Galactic Bank that, may or may not be completely legitimate. So, when I see someone clearly tied to the bank, I've got questions.
Right. Well,
the dark armored one turns and looks at you and leans in and says,
my name's Mr. Killagob. That's all you need to know.
And I think at this point he leans back. Make a history check.
All right. And that is insight. Oh, even better.
Yep.
So that is going to be a 22.
22.
He insists that he's a friend. I'm a friend of them. Of the Flopwigs.
But to you, there's something more. At this point, he leans back and he kind of taps the leather of the banquette that he's a part of, or sitting at. And Tiberius pushes off of the banquette and walks around to you. And he goes,
"All right, that's enough. I think Mr. Killigab has had enough talking with you."
Fair enough. Well, Mr. Killigab, as long as there's no issues, we'll be getting along just fine. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, you as well. Pleasure.
Have a good one. Thanks for the light.
He turns and turns to the other two halflings as they sort of start to whisper and mumble to themselves. Rue, how are you doing? What are you doing at the bar?
I mean, I've been telling Soul about my day. They don't seem to have much to go on, and so if they have a coat and a couple of friends, I know Sean a little bit, but not a lot, and so I didn't even realize he was going to be here, but I at least know who he is, and so I've been telling Soul exactly who Edward and Sean are. And also about the refrigerator that I moved across the street for someone earlier today. It was like I had to carry it down 3 flights of stairs. And like, I'm kind of strong, but like not super strong. And it was a whole refrigerator. And I'm pretty sure it had stuff in it too. So I just had to like, pull it all up on back and carry it all the way down. I'm pretty sure my back is gonna hurt tomorrow. But I got it all the way across the street because I'm that cool. Get it? The fridge. It's a refrigerator. It's cool.
I get it. Hey, nice. At this point, the other Vect bartender, who seems to not really be doing anything. There's one Vect bartender that is powered down in the corner, and then this one is just sort of not really there, and makes his way over with 2 half-made drinks and sets them in front of you, Edward, and says, "These need to go to table 3.
They're not.
You are still swamped with those tickets.
Yeah, I'm like, these drinks are done. These drinks are done.
And he goes.
No, don't walk away.
It starts to then polish some glasses very slowly.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, I can
take them to table 3.
I could make drinks for you.
Look, I appreciate. Look, so yeah, take to table 3. It's that one over there.
Points to the gaming table behind you.
Just to give the drinks. Come back. Be careful. Don't say anything. And you know what? Before you do that, here, Rue, they just need two spritz of this and 2 spritz of that.
The drinks.
And,
Nice.
and Rue, don't lift things with your back again. I heard that. I'll be right back. Work together. Okay.
It's like a strike team. Get each other's bags, head on a swivel, get out there. Be safe.
Get in, get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Rue's tail
Clear
is
eyes, full hearts, can't
behind her
lose.
as she like puts the spritzes in, whatever that means, and then it's like,
Hot sauce.
Edward calls her out, her tail just goes like straight, and then it goes back to swishing when he goes away.
So Soul is just gonna take the drinks awkwardly, and they're gonna hold them up like this, and they're just gonna walk over to the gaming table, and they're gonna set them down, not in front of any particular people, but just gonna set them down in the middle of the table, and they're just gonna stand there.
Back at the gaming table was a tall, stunning woman. Carefree laughter cut through the din of the noisy bar. On the other side of the table sat a squat, miserable, old-looking dwarf. with a scowling expression that suggests he just lost another hand of cards. The woman was wearing a red dress that leaves little to the imagination, and certainly nowhere to hide a weapon. A moment later, the dwarf's scowl faded. He cracked a toothy grin and rumbled,
Another hand then. Odds are I gotta win sometime, and I ain't entirely broke just yet.
He pulled straight his jacket and reached into a pouch at his side. It is then that you saw, half concealed beneath his jacket, that he was wearing a very strange-looking pistol on his hip. He didn't grab for the pistol, however, and instead pulled out a precious green gem that sparkled in the light. He set the gem down on the table and began to shuffle his deck of cards.
So the dwarf that we saw earlier who grabbed the drinks off of the bar, who was grumbling about how long it took, is now shuffling these deck of cards as he's grumbling about the losses that he has had.
What drinks are here, finally?
Weren't you the one that had the 2 prototypes?
Aye, that's us. I had one for you, and I mean, I should probably take both of them, considering I'm losing.
And you see that you hear the woman across from him in the beautiful red dress starts laughing. As she then takes and finishes the little bit left of her cocktail and smiles with her eyes at him and at you.
And you could just put them there.
So Soul's gonna set them right smack dab in the middle of the game and just stand there.
Thank you.
As he kind of hops off of the stool and because of his size, he has to really get on his tippy toes to then move them and then slide one over.
Why are you so short?
Why am I so short? What do you mean? Why are you so tall? Huh? You ever think of that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I guess it's just who I am, really. I'm a dwarf. This is about, I'm actually a little bit taller than most dwarves, so I'm tall.
Okay.
Triggered.
Rue didn't want to hover, so she let Soul go over to the table entirely on their own, but is definitely just sitting at the counter,
turned around
conspicuously looking, watching.
So Soul is gonna walk over to the woman in the dress, and they're just going to take one of the straps of the dress and just pull it up.
Excuse me? Can I help you?
What is this?
Well, it's silk.
Silk. Is that a material?
Yeah, have you not? Yes, it is. It's my dress, too. And I would like it if you stopped pulling at it. She giggles and then gives you her empty glass and trades it with the full one.
Okay. So
What's your name?
Soul.
Hi. Carmen. She holds out a hand.
So I lift my hand, but I put it up against hers, but I don't grab it.
Rue in the background is
Edward's under 8 cups, we good?
And I just slowly grab her hand, but I don't shake it. So I'm just.
She firmly shakes yours, and she finishes the handshake for you. She goes, "Nice to meet you. Hey, thank you for the drinks."
You're welcome.
What?
So Soul's gonna turn around. What?
Do you work here?
No,
Or are you here for the event?
I was told to say that I'm here for security.
Oh.
Okay. She kind of giggles to herself.
And Soul kind of mimics the giggle a little bit.
She kind of looks at you quizzically for a second. Then, are you new?
New?
New to Port Nomad?
I think so.
Welcome. Welcome to Port Nomad.
Thank you.
Do you always do security? Is this your first security? Is this what they're called? Your first security?
I think
Said to me,
so.
and she starts to chuckle. The dwarf kind of
I
laughs
think
to himself.
so. Ha 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 ha.
Are you alright? You need help?
Yes.
Are you malfunctioning? I could fix it.
I don't know if I need to be fixed.
Alright, well, probably for the best anyway. I don't really have any of the tools here, but... well, thanks for the drinks.
So, for the tools, do you use smaller ones because you're shorter?
Alright, let's do another hand, I think.
As he kind of turns and tries to ignore you.
And pull Soul away and say,
God damn!
yes, he does use smaller tools because he's shorter.
Okay. So Soul's gonna go back over to the bar.
Very bad if you said that, though.
Mad?
Yes, mad.
Angry?
Like, yeah.
Can I get a perception check out of the both of you? Actually, all three of you.
Yes.
3 being me as well?
I'm sorry, 4 of you.
Are too distracted explaining to Soul what the average height of dwarves are, because I think he's fudging it a little bit. I don't think he's actually very tall for dwarves. So she's just like she's explaining like a couple of the different types of species that you'd see in the room and like their general heights and like I'm short for a human, so I could use smaller things too. Like, have you ever seen little cupcakes? Because I would totally eat little cupcakes. They're so cute.
I only got a 9 on my perception.
9, okay.
Mine's a 5. I'm so busy
5.
talking about little cupcakes.
I perceive nothing. I got a 4.
Okay.
You got a 19.
Sean? You got a 19. All right. So while, as they are making their way from the table, and Rue is explaining the intricacies of tiny little cupcakes and how she can eat so many of them, I think as they're walking by, in your vision, you also see that there is a ceiling panel above the gaming table that seems to be rattling, as if something is trying to loosen it.
You can eat more cupcakes if they're tiny. Like it's quantity. It's important. I mean, you still want them to be quality, obviously. But then, if it's a good tiny cupcake versus a good big cupcake, you could only maybe eat 2 big cupcakes. But you can eat 10 tiny cupcakes.
So cupcakes are pastries, right?
Yes. They're like little tiny cakes with some icing on top.
Okay.
Was that a call for an order of cupcakes?
Yes. Wait, do you have cupcakes? Wait, do you have tiny drinks? Can I have tiny drinks too to go with the tiny cupcakes?
Hey,
Tiny
I hate to cut you off. Look up real quick. I might have a security concern.
And as you all look up, you do see a rattling ceiling panel, and I do all need you to make a wisdom save.
Oh no.
A wisdom saving throw, yeah?
Oh no.
14.
Well,
14.
16.
17.
Okay.
It's
Well,
just him looking up, going
14, 16,
just
And 12.
12. Okay.
one order of cupcakes.
Small flakes tumbled down from the rusted panel on the ceiling above the gambling table that caused Theoden and Carmen to look up simultaneously in surprise. With a crash and a clang, a small foot-length rodent with the long blue-gray fur bursted out of the panel from above and landed with a thud onto the tabletop. Carmen let out a high-pitched scream as the creature rolled up onto its feet, its mouth full of what looked like to be a small circuit board. It scampered away, spilling Carmen's drink all over her red dress and scattering playing cards everywhere. When the creature hit the floor, it turned sharply and began to run straight for Professor Orryn. At that same time, Theoden drew the strange pistol from his hip and gritted his teeth.
So at this moment, you see that Theoden, the dwarf, that I think he has explained, maybe he didn't introduce himself. Awkward. The dwarf pulls out a gun and starts to then wave it around at the bar, or wave it around, towards the stage where this thing has run off. This little squirrel, rodent-looking thing. It's got blue hair, like gray, wispy fur. It's got what looks to be wires in his coming out of his mouth as it starts to scamper up towards the stage. And the dwarf starts grumbling and begins to try to fire. This is why you hear him start. He's like fumbling with the gun and trying to fire at it. What do you all do?
Give chase.
Give chase to the squirrel? Awesome. Okay, could I get an acrobatics?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
That's a 20, not natural.
Okay, awesome.
But I am off that stool so fast. I'm just like across the room and definitely kind of doing the like partly on all fours, but like also just running.
Yeah. You probably like hit the ground with all fours, and then you get up onto two as you kind of sprint
Just,
your way towards.
Launch forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else?
So Edward was gonna duck, but seeing Rue do what Rue does, he's
Rue
gonna
stuff.
Rue, get back here! And he's gonna going to chase.
This little thurl, it starts to run and bob underneath some of the folded chairs that they've taken out for the presentation. It starts to bob and weave. And what was your acrobatics roll, Rue?
20, not natural.
20. Okay. You also start to you swim through, moving some of these acrobatics. I think you actually run and leap and like kind of wire walk, like wire fighting, but like walk across the tops of these chairs as this thing is weaving and swimming through the under the legs of these chairs. So like you were just seeing these chairs moving underneath them like a little, like as if you were the camera, right? And we're looking down, and we see your feet just dancing over, and the camera is focused on this little thwirl as it's weaving, as it's trying to make its way through. What is everybody else doing at this moment? You see your new friend Rue running across the tops of the chairs in the presentation area of this. Also at this time, Orryn, the professor, doesn't seem to be paying attention.
So I'm gonna go on the complete opposite side of the bar, and I'm going to start copying exactly what Rue does, only away from the problem. And I'm just gonna look over at her, and I'm just gonna start like following her and trying to do what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So go ahead and make me an athletics as well.
Okay.
As I'm chasing Rue, do I need to roll anything as well?
Oh, if you're chasing Rue, yes. Go ahead and you can make an athletics or a acrobatics. At this point,
they're equally bad. Oh shit! 21.
Got a 4. Nice.
Got a 4.
You jump the bar as if it was like as you swoop your arm over and you kick your legs over and you just like easily jump over the bar as you make your way over toward the presentation area. You do hear a gunfire as it ricochets off of the floor next to the Thorl. The Thorl then stops the way it was going, turns around, and then tries to go back the other way. It was going toward the door or looked like to be a vent, but now it's kind of trying to make its way back, doubling its way back towards you, Rue. So, Rue, you have an opportunity here to stop it.
Yeah. No,
somehow.
I'm pouncing on it. I am pouncing like full on that thing. Diving to grab it in between my claws.
Okay, make me an acrobatics. With claws out?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like stab it, but I am gonna cage it.
You just gotta
But please do.
Please do stab it. Wait,
John
do I know what a
doesn't
thorl is?
They eat Wizmos. That's what you would know.
Okay.
Yeah, you would know that Thorls are a nuisance in space stations and spaceships. They eat electronics, and also they like to chew on electronics, which is awful, and they like to nest using the wires and the metals and the little rubbery bits. But they also have developed through evolution a psychic ability to try to mask its presence. So there are times where when it stops and it moves, it's in one spot and you think it's in another spot. But you've seen these before. That's hence why you are probably so excited
Hold
to
on,
catch it.
diving for wherever I think this thorl is.
Okay.
That is not good. That is a 6.
Okay, you go and you grab, you go to grab it and you miss, and the thing runs off towards the gaming table. Back the way it came, steered in. The dwarf then holds out his gun again, and he's trying to reload it.
It's just, it's busted.
I want to use a reaction to fire the gun out of his hand.
Okay, yeah. Give me a roll.
So that's a natural 20.
Tell me how this happened.
So
Tell me what you want.
I have.
Take the scene.
All right. So as the dwarf is getting ready to fire recklessly into the spar, I just whip out my gun from my back holster, fire it, and right at his hand, just like causing the gun to fly out, disarming him.
Awesome. So yeah, the gun flies out of his hand. He loses track of where it goes, and he looks back at you. And I think, as we see, you've still got the smoking barrel as your laser has disarmed him. Awesome. Anybody else? Sean? I'm sorry, Edward.
Edward's just gonna yell at Rue like, "We've got security to take care of this, and people are shooting. Stay down. Stay down."
Don't worry, I've got this.
And that's him. He's panicking.
Okay, he's panicking.
My turn to panic.
He's running around to panic. All right, I love it. Okay, Rue, Saul.
Oh, I swivel.
Sorry.
No, just completely turn the direction that this squirrel is running to.
Okay. Saul.
I'm gonna go for the professor, and I'm going to scoop him up, and I'm going to hold him securely.
All right. Give me an athletics. You should go to grapple this man.
We'll see.
I love it.
Okay, 19. So
19.
Yeah.
How does Saul grapple him? I have an idea, but how do you do it?
Oh, I actually want to hear your idea.
Okay, so my idea was you run up and you undo your coat and you grab him with the coat and then tie him around inside the coat. So he's just nestled like a little burrito against your chest, and he's just like, what is going on? And I think that's probably when he realizes that there is a commotion happening. So you kind of just are holding him with the coat around, and he's very confused and just his little legs are dangling off the ground and he's trying to wriggle. Get me out of here! And I will go ahead and let's Rue, could you give me another acrobatics? I assume you're still going after this. Still trying to grab this.
And I have changed my partner's dice out from mine in the hopes that they will give me better numbers. And that is a 22.
Awesome. So with a final pounce, you probably put your hand down, or your clawed hand down, on one of these folded chairs, and you rip it. And as you do, you use the momentum to then give you that extra boost to then dive and slide across the metallic paneled floor. With this little inside, you've got this little ball of fur. You open your fingers, and this thing just kind of like looks up at you, terrified. And it looks like it has a circuit board in its mouth.
Ashford, why you gotta make such cute throw noises? I'm not gonna eat it.
Not anymore.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you persuaded me. I take it and I hold it very close and reasonably
You can
tight.
feel it's quivering. Its entire body is just shaking inside your clawed hands. I mean, it's also looking up at a predator. It's
Yes.
got claws around it.
I just kind of like I hold it and I turn towards the bar where Edward is, and I'm just kind of like clutching it close to my chest, and I'm like, I got it. See, I got it.
Okay. Give me a second. And he goes, and he gets like a to-go box, and he just goes, just put it in.
Would you like me to take care of?
I mean, I was just gonna take it outside and let it go.
Well, you know those things. You let it outside, it gets right back in. And those things can be mighty hard to find oftentimes. I've seen plenty of ships stranded in the middle of space because one of those things snuck aboard, and it ate through the propulsion systems, followed shortly by the life support systems.
Look how cute
Let me tell you, there is not a cute until you're frozen in space.
Thing looks up at you. It closes its eyes. I need you all to make a wisdom save again.
16.
Okay, so we figured out what Edward's good at. 16.
Nice. 10. Okay. Everybody, you still see it close its eyes, and then it opens its eyes, or one of its eyes. Check in on everybody, and then Rue, you think you have it. You open your hands more. You don't see it.
When I see her start to open her hand a little bit more, can I kind of like close it again?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Like,
Kind of like it's covered up again.
Can I try something here?
No. Yeah, of course you can.
I would like to try an animal handling check.
Of course you can. Go for it.
To try it.
What do you want to try to do with it?
Like, to kind of tame it a little bit, like to kind of like, calm down, don't disappear on us.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of the bar, there were some people who were worried. Carmen, the woman in the red dress, she fled. She ran out. She's not a fan of these rats. Of course, Cyrdan is grumbling. He went and found his gun, and the gnomes at that booth. They're chatting a lot, and one of them, the male-looking halfling, like got his feet up onto the booth and onto the table and started to like panic a little bit. And of course, as his sister and across Mr. Killigob both looked and they were all cool with it. They knew what it is, and they knew that like it was more of entertaining for them. But the younger halfling definitely was a little bit more scared.
Okay, so go ahead. Anyone who will give attention.
I rolled a nat 20 on my animal handling.
Okay. Tell me what Edward does that would be a success here.
So he just kind of takes, he just goes, "Do you mind if I?" And he takes the thing on his hand and he like lets it climb on the top palm of his hand. And he goes, "See, there you go, little buddy." And he takes like, he's got like a spare battery, and he's just like, "Here you go." Yeah. There you go. It's not so bad.
You realize that thing is gonna look at Soul as just one giant buffet, right?
That's a little terrifying.
Soul is
Meanwhile,
not
Soul is
food.
on the stage, and there is.
Would you let me down? Let me. What is happening? Who is this? What is happening? Who's behind me? Who has me?
He can't. He's trying to see you, and he can't because you have him right here. So he's just like.
So
This is embarrassing.
professor's safe now.
What?
The professor's safe now. You can put him
Put me
down.
down. Put me down.
Okay. And they just open their coat. Let them fall.
Professor was in their coat.
Yeah, I was like,
Thank you. You would be so kind as to leave me. I have to get ready. How are we doing, by the way, on time? Okay.
not that he
You.
was just stuck in a coat, but how was he doing on time?
He's trying. The presentation is late, so he's trying his best to get
I have
everything
a
working.
wristwatch.
He's still having a bit of issues. Yeah, and
It's
you have
part
a
of my
wristwatch.
adventuring pack.
Nice. So yeah, he
Dark
points over to his
matter.
friends. Yeah, he points to his friends, and they kind of give him a very arbitrary sign. And he's like,
Well, okay, great. And then he tries to. I'm almost ready, everyone. I'm almost ready. Hello? Can you hear me?
Hi.
All right.
Yes.
I'm almost ready. Thank you.
and then he.
Hi.
Hi. Is everything okay down there? Is everyone all right? Anybody want a drink?
And I think a couple of the patrons raise their hand. I'll do it. I'll take a drink.
Great, thank you. Okay, can we get another round for everybody? And then once everybody is settled, I think we can have the presentation. Please leave. Please leave the stage.
Cupcakes.
He turns and looks at Soul. Oh, he turns and looks at Soul and asks for you to leave the stage.
Don't leave the stage.
Please leave the stage. Please leave the stage. I am uncomfortable with you this close to me. Please leave the stage. I'm trying to be professional. And here you are, wrapping me up
Okay.
in your coat.
So you want me to rap and like Soul starts to like go towards him again, like opening their coat. You said you want me to do it again?
No, don't do it, please. Please, just leave it, please. Excuse me, so other security? Is there more other security that could come up here and this person is more security?
So come down.
Soul, come look what I got.
Yeah,
Okay.
hang out with Rue.
They just walk off.
Thank you.
Walk off stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Rue looks
Edward.
at the little squirrel like climbing on Edward's hands and just says, "If you eat Soul, I will eat you."
Yeah.
Okay, great. We're fine then. We're cool. Did I tell you about the time I
No,
carried your
Edward.
refrigerator across the street?
I bet
Supposed
it
to
was
gnaw on
pretty
the
cool.
battery. All right. So what is everyone
Yeah.
doing after that aftermath? A lot of the Cyrodian, I think, actually approaches you, Sean Deckard, and I think you have a tap on your shoulder, and you turn around and looking up at you is Cyrodian, and he goes, "Do you know what you just did?"
Yeah, kept you from shooting Gogglefogger.
I wasn't gonna shoot Gogglefogger, I was gonna shoot the rat.
Yeah. Fingers.
What's that?
How many fingers am I holding up?
Who?
2 fingers. How many guns have you broken?
And she pulls up his laser pistol, and there's a hole going through it, and he's.
I can't. You know how much it's gonna be to fix, huh? That's 3 different mechanisms in there that now that are fused together. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be.
Don't pull out a gun in the middle.
That's right.
No, you see, when a drunk asshole pulls out a gun in the middle of an event that I'm hired to ensure.
Who's drunk here? I'm not.
How many of those prototypes do you have?
17.
My point exactly.
I'm not drunk. I'm a dwarf. We could probably go for it. I could go for maybe another 2 more hours.
You can see he starts to try to regain his balance a bit.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you could. Now, when I'm working security and someone pulls out a gun and they acting like a fool,
I'm not a fool.
I deal with it. Now, you see what I did to your gun.
Hey, I see.
If I had determined, now imagine if I had just aimed a little bit to the right.
He grumbles and makes his way back to the gaming table. He shuffles the cards and then starts to deal a hand for someone who's not there, and then realizes in the middle of it that Carmen's gone.
Oh, all right. Well,
and he starts to put haphazardly puts the cards back into a deck, leaves it onto the table, and then he makes his way back over to the bar.
I'll have another for me, and I'll have two more.
And the bartender there turns and starts to run into the wall.
No, that's fine. I'll get it.
Ooh. Hurry up. This one, I think, is not too much.
As the one
Just Edward passive aggressively cussing the whole time.
Whole time.
So yeah, he'll go in. Can he actually try and, I don't know, roll technology on these broken bartenders to see if he can fix them?
You can, right after a history check.
Awesome, let's do it. And also, I actually give our squirrel rat Pikachu thing. In my head, this thing is Pikachu. I'm sorry.
It does like electronics, and it is a little mouse.
I would give it back to I would give it back to Rue before washing my hands thoroughly and going back to bartending. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 16 plus 1 for my history. So 17 total.
17 total.
Yep.
Okay.
Once Carmen had stepped out of the room, you heard heavy boots stomping toward the bar, and also accompanied by Seaden's grumbling complaints.
Back in my day, we had to work for hours and hours to keep those damn thwarls off our docks. They're a nightmare. Chewing through things they shouldn't, crawling up into your clothes, not to mention some of them read your thoughts. Know where you set your traps.
As he makes his way back over towards that gaming table. Soul, you've made your way off of the stage now at this point. Rue, you don't have the thwirl. Edward does. Who is the thwirl?
I would have gave it back to Rue.
Okay. Probably for the best, because you have to go work with food. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Rue, you now have and it's true, and order the cupcakes. Don't forget to order the cupcakes, Edward. And you also have the. Bring it in. So now I want cupcakes, but you also have the thwirl in your hands now. Soul, what were you doing? I'm sorry.
I think I was just generally walking back to the bar.
Okay. You do see on your way back to the bar, to your right, when you walk down the stage here, to your right, there is a, there is what looks like to be a hulking figure. I mentioned this earlier, a hulking figure that has It has, it looks like to be water inside their suit. And they are right here. I guess if this is where you are. They're right there, and they're kind of humming interesting, like curiously at you as you walk by.
So I stop and I look at them. Hello.
Hold on. What's your name?
Soul.
As you approached, it was easy to see that the hulking fish-like Gnomeland that was looking out through the star window appeared to be distracted. She wore an imposing metal suit that was reminiscent of ancient diving gear filled with lightly glowing blue liquid. Her suit was very well worn, and her leather boots had thinning soles. As you observed her, she reached up a hand to wipe the large stain on the dirty window, but managed to do little more than further smudge the grease into the fiberglass.
Oh, Soul. Hello, Soul. My name is Captain Lysandra.
She holds out this giant, like this huge hand. It looks like it's an armored mitt. Big tank for a head, like a big diving helmet, but in the porthole where the visor would be is filled with this blue liquid. And you see like this little, inside of it looks like a shadow through the blue murky water. It looks like some sort of, like swimming through it as some sort of fish-like creature.
Okay. Are you new here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so am I. Do you
What are
want a
you
drink?
exactly? Oh. Sure. I think there are these things called prototypes.
Yes, I have one here.
And you see she kind of slides over, and looks like the ice is melted in this one. It's been sitting for a while, but there's a cocktail there.
Please, have a seat if you like. My
I'm
name
going to-
is Captain Lysandra. I'm a Nautilid.
Nice to meet you.
It's very good to meet you as well.
So what
This is
exactly
beautiful.
are you?
Well, I am a Nautilid. We are, it's probably not normal to see many of us.
You also hear like like a bubbling coming through the mask and through the respirator as she speaks.
I'm here because I'm very interested in the technology. You see, we are trying to find our homeland, and when I say that, I mean, well, find a new one. I don't have a home anymore. No, I think from what I have understood and heard, that the prototype will actually make traveling the stars faster and easier for us, so we could find home again. Where's your home?
I don't know.
Oh. What do you mean you don't know? You don't remember?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry. That must be hard. You don't know where you came from?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Well. Wonderful to meet you.
You too.
How long have you been here? Port Gnomeland.
I don't know. I woke up and I met Edward and Sean.
Edward and Sean, are these your friends? Are they here?
Yes, Edward is at the bar, and Sean is over there talking to the short person.
She like kind of see like she leans out of the booth. She holds up a hand towards the bar. She waves, and I think for anybody who's looking in that direction, see her gloved hand waving slowly in the distance as she tries to get someone's attention.
And then there is Rue as well. She is also at the bar.
Hello. You hear echoing from down the.
Hi.
You have a wonderful friend.
I know.
Oh,
They're perfect.
you do have some marvelous friends. They seem to care for you.
Friends.
Friends, yes. Comrades, partners, friends. Someone who cares.
Okay.
Yes. Well, it was wonderful meeting you. Feel free if you want to sit and stay, you can. But you could also take a cocktail. If you're going to the bar, I will have a glass of water, please.
And at this point, you notice that there is like 8 different empty glasses of water just in front on the bar, or on the table.
Okay.
Very thirsty.
I was told that water is bad.
Oh, no. Who said that?
And I point at Rue.
Well, I could see how it could be dangerous for some people, but I love water.
Is that what's in your tank?
Well, yes, water from my home world.
Okay. I
Therefore,
will
a little
get
bit of
you
home
water.
travels with me. So I have left. But yes, I'll have a glass of water or several, if you're going up, and if you make your way back, that would be great.
Okay. And Soul stands up, and they walk back over to where Edward
Wonderful
is.
meeting you.
As
You too.
calls from the booth. I think at
Edward,
this
could
point,
I have 3 glasses of water?
Yeah, here you go.
I catch none of them.
off the bar.
I look at one of the Beth bots like, can you clean that up, please?
Yes.
Are you going to clean it up? Oh, God. God! I was supposed to be on vacation!
Are you not having fun?
It slams its head into the bar as it tries to bend down to get the water.
Busted robots.
Poorly calibrated.
He makes another 3 glasses and he just, okay, now you grab them. Hey, wait, are these all for you?
No, they're for the captain. And I point towards the booth that I just came from.
More water to table 4? I've been giving them water all night. What do they do? Fine. You got one prototype and you've been sitting on it. It's fine. I understand. Give the captain 3 more waters and be careful. And I gotta clean up this mess. And where are those cupcakes? I'm by myself.
Pretty much by yourself. At this point, you see, you hear over the microphone.
Hello? You will hear me? We got about
Yes.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. I think everything's working. I've got the microphone working again, so everything is all hunky-dory. Is this presentation gonna work? Okay, 2 minutes, everyone. So make your seats, and we'll get this going here. Okay.
And everybody starts to awkwardly make their way towards the presentation area, and they find their seats.
Don't stress about the cupcakes, Edward. They'll make you happy.
You wanted cupcakes, and I told you I was gonna get you cupcakes. You're gonna get your cupcakes. I promise. It's just taking a little bit longer than I thought. But you're gonna.
That's okay.
I swear. I swear you're gonna get these cupcakes.
I appreciate that. I just don't want you to stress about cupcakes, you know? Like, those are the kinds of things that you don't want to stress about in life.
Oh no, it's fine. Trust me. On the long list of things that I'm stressing out about tonight, cupcakes not on the top of them. You know what's on the top of them? This. And he points to another one of the robot bartenders.
That's fair. But I think when the cupcakes are ready, you have one, because maybe it'll make you less stressed.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Look, the way I figure it, there's only so many hours in a day. I just gotta make it through this. I'll eat a cupcake with you. Oh my God, how hard is it to just click? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll be.
You got this.
Error. There's water in my circuitry. Error.
I hate you and everything about this. Can I attempt my technology roll now?
Yeah, you can if you want.
All right, let's do it. Oh my God, I rolled a 1.
You go to
You got all those nat 20s.
Yeah, you go to open up the back panel, but it's seized, and you try to you put your foot on the bar, and you try to yank the back panel open to see what's going on, and the thing is standing on the puddle of water, so it loses its footing, and you actually end up just throwing it to the side as it falls over onto the ground. And then it's still trying to walk, so it's on the ground sideways, trying to.
I can try to fix it.
Awesome.
Have at soul, because I'm a bartender. Damn it, man! I'm a bartender, not a technologist person.
Yeah, that's word.
And another one of my feats is also that I'm a hacker. So I got a 17 on that technology roll. So I think I'm gonna try and hack and see if I can't program it to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, you go.
You're really good at that.
Yeah, you open up the back panel easily. It was actually, I don't think you have to go into the back panel at all. There's no hardware. It's all just programming. There are several interfaces that you can reach within the sides of this device, and you start to interface. How does Soul interface? Is there buttons that are being pressed in a certain order? Is there a plug that retracts out of somewhere? How does this all work? Do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
So sorry.
Okay.
So, the way I picture it, I think there's a lot of circuit boards in there.
Yeah.
And there's a few switches. Maybe there's a button or two. So I think it's just as simple as someone didn't switch something on. And
right.
So that's the problem.
It's just in the wrong setting, right?
Yeah, and I do some rewiring to make sure that the wires are going to the.
Yeah, it's just they did not take care of it.
Going to the correct place, and then I just flip on a switch, and I just close it up, make sure that it's secure, and I stare at it. And I say, I was told that water is a bad thing, so maybe you shouldn't drink water anymore.
Yes, thank you very much. Water can be dangerous.
You're welcome.
What is your name?
Soul.
My name is Bob. Would you like a drink?
I'll take some water.
Water, very well.
And it brings you water very fast. I think it actually holds out it holds out a glass, and then its index fingertip just kind of falls, and then water just.
You could have done that the whole time.
So right now,
Do you need help? Oh, it looks like you are swamped. Do you need help with the tickets?
Yes, please. Well, the
Oh,
bartender.
of course. You should have said something.
And then he makes his way over and starts to very deftly start making drinks.
There's a hate.
At this point, however,
the professor looked up from the table and gave a nod to the audience, and then pushed a button in front of the small device in front of him. There was an awkward pause when nothing happened, save for the soft whirring sound. The audience stirred anxiously while they waited. Then, all at once, there was a burst of light as the device projected a massive star map, filling the room with its breathtaking view of the first. A few members of the audience gasped as Professor Orryn began speaking in a bright tone. As is the custom, he started his presentation with a terrible joke and a joyful waggle of his eyebrows.
All of the known universe. So beautiful. It makes the goggles fog. Huh? Huh?
After a few moments of awkward silence, Professor Orryn-Talfough-Gogglefogger coughed into the back of his hand and wiped some sweat from his eyebrow and continued.
Our civilizations have redefined the word impossible for millions of years. And yet, until now, only gnomish technology, my people's technology, could traverse dead magic zones. While the government on Rebellion would never agree with my stance, it is my firm belief that all races and civilizations deserve the chance to access the many worlds within these dead magic zones. Thank you, thank you. And that is precisely why I have created the Talfough Matrix, a technology that projects a field, allowing magic in the zones where magic has always been said to be an impossibility.
at this point, you see that several people are just losing interest. He is trying to get their attention, but fails in one way or another.
The professor coughed into his microphone and spoke up. He tried to regain the attention of the crowd.
Please, my friends, I know change can be frightening. I know that expanding our interstellar boundaries will bring about its own challenges. It's only by working together that we can make the best of our new future, make the most of the Talfough Matrix's potential. Give me a chance to show you how we can change dreams into realities.
Professor Orryn then pressed a button, and the star map vanished, returning the room to its previous purple glow. On the screen behind the professor, the number 20 appeared in clean white font. He pulled a fluorescent crystal from a compartment that was strapped to his chest, and a cloud of fog began to drift out of the device, rolling over the floor of the stage in a dramatic fashion.
Behold!
Orryn exclaimed, holding up the crystal and gesturing back to the holoscreen, which is now counted down to 10.
The schematic blueprints to the first ever Talfough Matrix. Powered by the energy stored in this crystal, the design theoretically can be small enough to fit in any Corvette-sized vessel.
The crowd was quiet and seemed confused by what they were watching. The professor turned around and his eyes went wide as he stared at the number on the screen. 4.
That is not my schematics.
And then an explosion ripped through the star's will bar.
All right, so at this point, I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw as an explosion rips through this CD bar that you are residing in.
That's an 18 from Rue.
18, okay.
16 for Soul.
16.
19.
19.
That is a 7 for Edward.
And a 7. Edward, You take... Oh, boy. You take 13 damage.
Oh.
Force damage as you are blown back, I guess, into, and you knock into a bunch of the bottles, or maybe try to think of how this, because you were probably the farthest away, so maybe what hits you are bottles and debris from tables in front of you. Everybody else who has made your way up to the front were able to duck behind something. Being up that close, maybe you saw that this was going to happen. The countdown on the screen behind was probably a clear indication that you should probably duck and cover. But Edward, who was probably doing some tickets or maybe pouring water for anybody at the bar, wasn't paying attention as bottles flew and hit him in the head. At this point, I do need
to be here today.
Yeah, exactly. I also need everybody to make a perception check.
As part of my dexterity save, I'd be willing to go ahead and take damage to do this. Could I protect the professor from getting exploded?
You can, if you'd like. So you will go ahead and take 13 damage if you'd like to choose to fail this.
Yep.
Is that what you'd like to do?
I'll choose to fail to shield the professor.
Okay, and everybody who has made the check and passed, which was everybody else, go ahead and take 6 damage. As you as debris and stuff hits you as well.
Yeah, as soon as I find my footing after that, I take my swirl friend and like find one of my bigger pockets and just kind of put it inside and say, hold on tight.
Okay. How is everybody's perception checks?
21. I got a 19.
19, 21, what else?
15 from Rue.
And then 13.
15 from Rue. 13. Okay, so everybody except Soul, you see the corner of your eye sitting at the presentation area. The male halfling stands up. Everybody has been blown to the ground or has at least scattered and panicking. But getting to his feet rather quickly is this male halfling as he starts to reach for something inside of his jacket. His eyes widen and he stares directly at the professor. I need everybody to roll initiatives.
All right. Well, as part of my smuggler feat, anytime I roll initiative, I get to use a reaction to make an attack because I shot first.
Nice. While you are rolling initiatives.
And for my initiative, I got a 17.
I got it.
Right.
I got a 21. 19 plus 2.
What was the bonus on initiative, Sean? Sorry.
Plus 5.
Plus 5 to initiative?
Yeah, I have plus 5 to initiative, but I'm using my reaction to go ahead and take a shot out of initiative.
Oh, cool. All right. So go ahead and make that shot. What is your initiative, Rue and Soul?
Mine is 12.
Okay. Rue's is 18.
Okay. So make that shot, Sean, and then it is going to be Edward. You're up right after Sean. So right now, just to paint the picture again for those who are watching, or also everybody else, an explosion is ripped through the bar after the explanation of the Talfough Matrix, and debris is everywhere. There is smoking. The terminals in front of the presentation terminals have blown up. And the professor is blown up against the back wall, and his goggles, of course, are foggy, but also his face is all covered in soot and his hair is wild, and he seems to be having a hard time standing up. There is also one person who doesn't seem to be fazed by the blast at all, and they are making their way towards the stage, and that is Kenny Flopwig, the male halfling that you met earlier at the dark booth. Sean, you were making a shot?
Sorry, was it, so it's Kenny that's pulling out a weapon right now? It's not the one in, okay.
It's Kenny.
right.
It's the nervous one. He seems to be confidently staring at the professor as he's making his way towards the stage.
All right. Well, I got a crit because I rolled a 19, and I have a feature that gives me 19 to 20 crit range with firearms.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, because I'm only wielding one weapon in my hand, if I beat his AC by 5 or more, which this totals 24, I'm assuming that does.
That does hit. How did you know?
By
5 or more, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I get to roll extra
Let me
dice
check the
damage if it
stats
does.
that are so handily in the back of this module, written by Mage Hand Press. Let me see. See what I did? Yes, it absolutely beats his armor class by 5. Yeah.
All right. So let's see
sounded like
here.
a lot of dice.
So, it was, when you're rolling extra dice and then you crit, it just gets big. So.
Okay.
All right. So we've got 6, 12, 17, 21, 24, 27 damage.
27 damage. Okay. So tell me how you stop him.
Well, I put a hole in his knee.
His knee. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with ease, you see, if anybody was watching the gunslinger at this moment, a loud is. Do you have lasers? What kind of gun do you have? Is it a laser? Is it a slug?
Yeah. So it is a blaster. It's a
okay.
So his repeaters are stylized to look similar to almost like a flintlock pistol, but
Sweet.
Instead of shooting slugs, it shoots lasers.
Awesome. Yeah, so you see the smoking barrel of a flintlock-looking pistol, but moments before, a laser trails through the air and hits the back of the knee of Kenny Flopwig as he falls over, very deftly, just falls immediately, and he starts to scream. As he's in pain. There is also Helios is next, and you hear a light sword power up as it charges up, and he starts to stride right past you. During the same moment as well, he charges towards and he says, "All right, everyone, be careful. I'll get the professor. Don't let the assassin get out of here." And he makes his way over towards the professor, because it is his job to protect. He will then go ahead and try to grapple the professor, who I don't think is going to do well because he is, So at this moment, he grabs the professor and just starts to he's up on the stage and grabs the professor at this point. He's making his way out, but they have not made it out the door yet. Edward, it is your turn. Edward, it is your turn. Edward, it is your turn.
So Edward's gonna just get up from all the glass bottles, pull a piece of glass out of his head. Okay. The bar is closed. And he gets up and he's just looking to see if there's anybody on the ground trying to help him. Everybody needs to follow me out. I don't just stay low and follow me. And he's panicking, but he's trying to keep it together.
Yeah, he's trying to get people. Okay, awesome.
Out. So
awesome,
do I need to
awesome.
roll a persuasion check or anything?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a persuasion. See how many people can follow you out.
That is a 13 plus. I'm not bad at this. So
I am.
So 13, 17.
17. Okay. A couple people start to rouse and make their way towards you in panic. The Naudilid Lysandra and starts to make their way towards you. Captain Lysandra knows how to fight, but when you're taken by surprise like this, sometimes you're just not ready, and she wasn't. So it's probably best to just leave at this point. So she's gonna go assess the situation outside, and I think also Kiri stays though. Kiri, Kenny's sister stays, and as well as Mr. Killigob. The dwarf does follow you as well, and also so does the Salia, who confidently follows you as if she knew it was going to happen. So it is that good turn. But yeah, so everybody starts to make their way out, and Sean, you are up now again. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn, Edward? I'm sorry. You have a bonus action or anything you wanted to do?
Yeah, I just want to glare at the Oracle like you could have gave me a heads up. I'm gonna have this scar forever now.
Or just never get rid of that green glass bottle that's there, so it always looks like you have like this green gem scar. That could be pretty cool. But yeah, so yeah, you glare for your bonus action. Nice. Sean, you're up. This is your actual turn. So before, Sean did a feat or a feature that he can fire before and during the initiative roll, which is pretty nuts. It's also now your turn, your actual turn now. Yeah, it's part of the
smuggler feat.
Yeah.
So now that it's my turn, Helios has taken my ward, so I'm going to follow him out, and I'm going to look at Tiberius as I go. Look, I don't want any trouble. I just took him down because he was coming after who I'm protecting. I didn't kill him on purpose. I'm going.
Yeah, I think at this point, as you turn to look at Tiberius, he has a blaster in your face. And I think he does like kind of lower his. Make me a perception or a persuasion check, as he has you in his sights.
11.
11. Okay. He kind of smiles, and you see through like his large yellow teeth behind the stock of the rifle as he goes to pull the trigger. But it's not his turn yet. What are you going to do? It's still your turn. You have a bonus action, I think.
Well, I'm just gonna run.
Okay.
After Helios.
All right, cool. Hey, don't shoot me. Okay, great. Awesome. So you run out following Helios.
Yep.
Okay. Next, it is Rue. I'm sorry, you were supposed to go before Sean. So Rue, you're up now. Sorry about that.
Okay. So the person who has Professor Gogglefogger,
yeah.
What would? Did they seem like they were supposed to have Professor Gogglefogger?
You were at the bar earlier with the conversation between Helios and Edward, and you did hear this as you were probably drinking and had your ear open. You did hear that he is the chief of security here at Port Nomad, and it is his job to serve and protect.
Okay, then I feel
so it's not out of the ordinary for him to do this drastic of a maneuver to get somebody out into safety.
Then I'll hurry towards the door as well, making sure that I keep a protective hand on my pocket with my Thworld friend inside.
Okay, awesome. Anything else? Just making your way out, doubling the move to get to safety?
Yeah, just make my way out.
Okay, awesome.
I may cast thaumaturgy and and just say, everybody stay calm. Don't cause any trouble.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, echoing through the bar right now is this thunderous announcement type voice, but in the cheery voice of Rue, who says, everyone stay calm. We don't want any trouble. Right? Something like that, I hope?
Don't cause any trouble, as Edward
Don't cause any trouble. Yeah, don't cause any trouble. Not we don't want any trouble. That sounds dangerous. Okay, awesome. And Sol, it's your turn.
I think I'm going to help Edward get all of the people
Start to funnel everybody out.
Safely. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. As you are all making your way outside of the bar, security does show up. It didn't take long. The Port Nomad security does funnel their way in. The alarms go off. The fire alarm also chimes in the background as they start to funnel in, and they apprehend the screaming Kenny Flopwig as they put him in cuffs, and as he limps to his feet, and they actually carry him towards a stretcher. And moments later, you are all outside the bar. There's smoking coming from the bar door. And the manager, the half-orc from earlier, is also in a bit of a panic as well. We can come out of initiative now.
That bar really did blow up, huh? Edward, is this normal for the jab?
You just see, like, blood spurt from his forehead. He goes,
Oh, Edward.
no, it's not.
Oh, are you? Ow.
Ow. Ow, don't touch it.
Oh, no, I'm not touching it. Just like kind of getting close and then pulling away.
Yeah, it's as bad. It looks bad, doesn't it? Does it look bad? It looks bad. Okay.
Excuse me, citizens, pardon me. Excuse us, we have ourselves a bit fun. Excuse us.
And there's troopers kind of just move and pass through you with what seems to be a stretcher, and Kenny Flopwig, the timid halfling, holding his knee, screaming, "What happened?" As they sort of make him make his way towards a patrol car, and does anybody want to do anything at this point?
Yeah, I'm just investigating Edward's wound, and I say, "Is it bad? Does it hurt? Do you need it fixed?"
It's bad. It hurts. I need it fixed, but I'm a little tapped on funds right now, which is why
you don't have to pay me. You give me things all the time, and I'll cast Cure Wounds on his head.
Awesome.
Oh,
okay. That feels good. Yeah, it's the relief, the pain.
Like he knows in theory that Rue can do this kind of stuff, but I don't think he's ever been like at the benefit of it. So it's just like, oh,
this is nice.
I thought for sure I was gonna have to blow my entire vacation fund to fix this. Thank you.
Cut my finger. Well, looks like I'm not going on vacation. Yeah. So what's the healing looking like, Rue? What's the numbers, and also what does it actually look like? Narration.
That is a 4 + 1, so
nice.
5 hit points back. And
how does the cleric of the void, Rue? How does a healing spell look?
She just kind of reaches up and like scratches through the air, and she leaves behind these like scratches, like from her claws, these scratches of black void stuff. They're very thin, very small, and they dissipate very quickly. But from them, they kind of like they dissipate towards the wound, and it stitches itself back together in black stitches, and then those disappear.
Sweet. Nice. So with a gesture of her hands, the claws rip through reality for a moment, and this pixelated lines of very fine, pixelated like sparks and wisps come off, and the same matches on your forehead as it stitches.
Yeah, the wounds close up a bit. They're still a bit open because he got blasted pretty hard. He's
the
like,
bleeding is
stopped. And I didn't roll well either.
All right. But the bleeding stops. That's good.
Yeah. He goes, thank you, Rue. I need a drink, and I need to. Oh, God damn it! You didn't get your cupcakes.
Yeah, that's okay. The bar blowing up really did put a damper on, I think, everybody's day. But I can always get cupcakes later, you know?
I owe you a bunch of tiny cupcakes and tiny drinks. I'll put that on the
cupcakes and tiny drinks.
I'm not gonna complain. But also, you just need like water. Or do you need like a real drink?
No, this is whiskey. These down here are bourbon for sure.
Okay.
And this funny one in the back of my knee is tequila, so we're gonna have a lively night.
Yes. All these wounds are due to the bottles that hit you, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
They're the bottles and the remedy.
And the remedy. Okay, right. That's I thought it was the remedy for a second.
Fine.
Nice.
You're fine.
Awesome. Okay, and Sean.
So anything else will be kind of hard to get.
That's true. And Sean, you went to go pursue Helios, who went out the back door by the stage, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so could you make me an athletics check as you try to tail Helios?
All right, so that is a
Excuse me,
19.
Helio Horus. 19. Okay. So you burst through the back door, following, or I guess as the door's closing, you slam it open again, and you do see that swiftly running down the alleyway, or not the alleyway, I'm sorry, the street towards the security outpost is Sir Helio Horus holding Sir Orryn-Talfough-Gogglefogger as he's just, it looks like he's not lifeless, but it does look like he's exhausted and injured, as he's just firemen carrying him away. You would assume to safety. Go on. Are you going to say something?
Helios, wait up.
He goes, I can't wait up, I'm sorry, he's really hurt.
Yeah, I shielded him from the blast. He's my ward, so just we'll head wherever you need to head, but I'm paid to keep him safe.
Make me a insight, or a persuasion, excuse me. You're gonna have to beat a 20.
Oh.
So you have to roll a natural 20.
Well, I didn't roll a natural 20, but I did get a dirty 20.
I natural 20'd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he goes, I'm sorry, I can't. And he makes his way. Actually, I think he stops and he turns. Yeah, and he goes, you're going to have to catch up. He's really hurt. And then you see him go, no. And then he's, I gotta go. And he dips into like a back alleyway that it seems to be towards the security outpost. So what are you doing at this point? You did make your way outside, correct?
Yeah, I accumulated a little... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Sean.
Sean, do you want to do something really quick?
I was going to ask about rolling insight to see if everything's above board.
Yes, you can do that. Go ahead and roll an insight.
Okay. 17 plus insight. 21 for insight.
21. Go ahead and make a history check for me. How long have you been in Port Gnomeland?
About two weeks.
So not very long, but you probably did gather a lot of information.
I did get a 14 on that roll.
You got a 14 on the history. Sir Helio Horus always does seem to be at the right place at the right time. That is always something that happens to be, it's sort of a reputation he has. And that has also always benefited Port Nomad. So this case of him running off is no different. He is just doing his job.
Okay, so my 21 insight, I believe he's legitimately
the 21 insight does also, the way he ducked into that alleyway, you see in front of you is the security port. It's about a block and a half ahead, but he ducked, as he said no, he ducked into a back alleyway.
So
unknown
now
why.
some alarm are
now it gets
going off in my head.
Yeah, why would he turn left when he could have just gone straight? Sol, what are you doing?
So, I accumulated a little damage from the blast, and so it's actually on one of my arms. And so I've opened the panel that's on my arm, and I'm kind of just making sure that everything is in place. And once I'm done with that, and once I fixed it up, I'm going around to the various, like, mechanical folk that are like robots and everything, making sure that they're okay and fixing them up if I need to.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and make me a roll.
Or technology?
Hacking technology, yeah.
Cool. So that is an 18.
An 18. Some of the bartenders, the one that was malfunctioning, who couldn't work and was out of order, is still in the bar. But the one that malfunctioned that you saved earlier does seem to be having a bit of an issue.
I need some repairs. I need help. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. I can help if you need me to.
Yes, please. I can't reach it. And he turns around and...
You see that he's missing his entire back panel is gone, and some of the wires are.
Okay.
Is it
So,
bad?
I'm afraid you're missing your back plate. However, I can fix your wires for you.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. All right. I will try not to panic.
It'll be okay.
Am I gonna be okay?
promise.
As he starts to freak out.
Am I all right?
Yes, you will be okay. I promise.
Well,
What did you roll for your repair or your technology? Yeah, he swears.
18.
18. Okay. Awesome. I think at one point he goes,
I can't feel my legs. I can't feel... Oh, that's normal. Oh, thank you.
and then his legs start to work and he starts to move them. But as you all come outside and you all start to find the safety in each other and the safety in those other patrons who are at the Stars Will bar, you look around, and as you are all, of course, like I said, to find the safety in one another, off, as the camera pans out, down the street is a confused gunman, or a gunslinger, I shouldn't say gunman, it sounds bad, gunslinger, Sean, as he's confused as why Sir Helios turned and took a left when he could have just run straight to the security outpost. But that is a story for another week. This has been a lot of fun, everybody. We're going to go around and talk to everyone, see how they did, and also just kind of chat for a moment and see how you all enjoyed it. And I hope you all had fun, and I hope you're all having fun in the chat as well. And we will come back to this in a week from now. But let's go around, and I'll meet back up with me here in a second. But Bree, how was it tonight? I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for playing today.
Yes. It was a lot of fun. I've actually never played Dark Matter before, so being able to like work with these mechanics and whatnot, and also playing half cyborg, that was pretty cool too. I really like the science fiction part of everything. It just adds, and of course the noir style that we're playing in, I love that. So yes, it was a lot of fun tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, I was having a lot of fun as well. It was fun to like try to just go lean right into the this noir style as well. Where can we find you on the internet, and what do you do?
Yeah,
Where can we find you?
I am a content creator within TTRPG. I am mostly on Twitter, and my user is @Brito with 3 E's and _. And I do illustration, I do LARP, I try to do as much creation as I possibly can. And I'm just trying to provide a safe place for people of color in nerd communities. So that's my thing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And you're also in the Veiled Alliance.
I am also in Veiled Alliance.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
that's swimmingly. So yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
And we have a lot of fun. We should definitely come check us out in September. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm very excited to show you all what we have going. And I'm very excited to be playing with you, Bree. Thank you very much for coming along and playing this with me today. And with this here.
Thanks for having me.
With us here at LFM. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you. Renee. Wait a minute. Why is it keep doing that? There we go. Hey. Hi.
I had so much fun for it.
Nice. I'm glad you did.
I have a twirl in my pocket.
Yeah, I was wondering. I had a feeling. I was like, that twirl is probably going to be captured.
Look,
like, I'm pretty
the
sure
longer I play
that
Dark
twirl will be
Matter, the
captured.
more twirls I will probably adopt. It's just like,
I wouldn't hate that.
so
You know,
cute,
having like
doll. I would buy this book just to see the twirls.
yeah. And I will make sure that we have art for the twirl next time. I didn't have it set up this time, but we will be able to see it next week.
Perfect, because I'm already thinking of a name. I've already thought of what I mean.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So speaking of names, who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing? And what do you do on this internet? Where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Renee Rhodes. I am the community and social media manager for LFM, the network that you can find the show on. And I love what I do. I'm a streamer and podcaster and writer who's definitely been thrown by the year of 2020, but also who's really excited to get back into it. This is my first stream game in a while, and I've enjoyed putting the character of Rue together, doing the makeup, and just getting back to acting, being back on stream and playing games with some really incredible people. I love the chemistry so far, so I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It was a lot of fun having you today. Thank you very much, Renee. Justin. Mage Hand Press.
Hey.
How you doing? Tell us about you. Tell us about how you liked it. And tell us about this wonderful thing that we've played today.
All right. Well, I had such a blast playing one. I love all of the characters, and I love what you're doing with the campaign. I have purposefully avoided reading as much. It's like I've read enough of the adventure to be able to talk about it because, I'm the social media guy. I've got to know enough to, talk. But I knew that I'd be playing on this, so I didn't want to spoil a lot of stuff. So, finally actually getting to see some of the things that I've been having to fight the temptation to read has been... loved it. Dark Matter, this adventure, it's part of an ongoing Kickstarter. It's doing pretty well right now. We're already over 600% funded.
Amazing.
And it's going to be a self-contained box, so starter rule set, the adventure, DM's kit, dice, everything you need to play right out of the box. So yeah, check it out.
Hell yeah.
And
where can we find you?
All right, so yeah, usually I'm on Twitter, either on the @MageHandPress handle or the @TweeterOfVecna handle. Other than that, I spend a lot of time writing stuff like this.
Nice. Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun playing with you today. I think this is our... it's been many a times where we've met and you go, we gotta play a game together. I'm like, I know, we do. And we finally were able to. So this is really awesome. It was great playing with you today. Yeah. And I can't wait for what we do next time as well. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh. And Noir, how you doing, buddy? Edward?
Hey, I'm doing well. I have an arch nemesis now, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Bob, the bartender robot. He's my BBEG.
That's him.
I will destroy you.
Yeah. Oh, man. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us how did you enjoy everything? No, it's okay. Don't be sorry.
I loved it. I love the slow burn. Like you can watch this and still not know what classes a lot of us are, which is, I love how everybody's kind of holding the cards close to the chest. That's very awesome. And speaking of chest, like the the protection of the professor, that's gonna make me giggle for hours after this game. Sorry, I could keep gushing, but hi, I'm Noir. You can find me. At on Twitter at the Noir Enigma. I'm also Dr. RPG over at Encounter Roleplay, which is coming back August 31st. So yeah, come check that out.
Hell yeah. Awesome. What's Dr. RPG for those of us who don't know?
So Dr. RPG is basically, it is a helpline for your TTRPG characters where you call in character, and Dr. RPG is my character, very similar to like a Dr. Ruth, and we take you through, like, for example, if you're a paladin and you're living with a rogue who stabs everything, you might need some advice on how to get through the day, and so you just call Dr. RPG. And we work with you to, make sure that your adventuring party works together the way they're supposed to.
So good. I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. Yeah, definitely go check it out.
I may have another project right here on LFM that I'm very excited about, but I'm not sure if I can talk about it yet, so I'm just going to stop talking.
Well, people just have to stay tuned and find out.
Soon.
That's all.
See, that's why I didn't say anything. I know how it works. They got snipers.
My name is Mythomatic. Exactly. My name is Mythomatic. I am the producer here on LFM. So tonight I was doing a lot of this and figuring out what to do and pressing buttons, and also DMing. So it was there were some bumps in the road, but that's happened sometimes. I also was the GM today as well. So thank you very much for stopping by and supporting that, because this is my first time in years that I have cleared the cobwebs of my DMing brain. And thank you all for being such a supportive cast and letting me get comfortable in that. I am sweating buckets right now, mainly because it's hot, but also because of nerves. So it was really just great, and thank you for being such a great community and letting me just express and be my DM self again and find my stride. So thank you for that. You could find us here. We'll be doing this again next week as well. We have 2 more parts of The Conspiracy in the Stars. We also have Rise of the Veiled Alliance, which will be coming out in September. We have 2 campaigns that are happening at the same time. It's kind of like a sisterhood campaign. The sister campaign. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but either way, it's a split campaign on the same timeline where we'll be doing some interacting between. It's going to be super cool. Definitely come take a look. It'll be great. I'm excited. We are all excited. Thank you for being here tonight. Does anybody have anything else to say before we wrap it up?
Yeah, check out the Dark Matter Kickstarter starter set. Dark Matter starter set Kickstarter. At bit.ly/Dark Matter set, and I'm sure we'll have that coming through. We've probably had it multiple times through the stream. So, but yeah, bit.ly/Dark Matter set. Check it out. They've got a ton of stretch goals that they're reaching for now, so it goes far beyond just the starter kit, which is already cool, but there will be additional adventures, content like cards and things beyond what the original Kickstarter reached for. So it's well worth continuing from that 600% funded to beyond.
Awesome. Anybody else? Anything else? Thank you so much, Renee.
I'm just going to throw out one of those stretch goals. It's a mecha adventure.
Which one? What is what? The stretch goal is a mecha adventure? Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is, yeah.
Roam the stars in Dark Matter mechs. Yeah. You don't need to, I will. Dark Matter mechs. These are also a stretch goal. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you all next time. Be well and tell great stories.
Bye.
If you're like me, you play 5e on the weekends. Roll dice with friends, order pizza, the whole 9 yards. But maybe recently you've gotten a bit tired of it. Swords, axes, and the medieval look are cool and all, but it gets a little blah, right? How many fighters and rogues can you really play? You need a change. You need some science fiction. Dark Matter is a sci-fi campaign setting for 5e that sits on top of the core rules, so you don't have to learn a new system. It mashes up influences from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Star Wars, and Doom, with fantasy staples, so you can find yourself running away from space wizards or axe-wielding barbarians as you tear apart androids and aliens. And now, we're proud to introduce the Dark Matter Starter Kit, a standalone box set that includes everything you need to get playing. So what's inside? For starters, a brand new adventure, Conspiracy in the Stars, which is a cool neo-noir sort of thing. It's got a big 2-sided battle map and tokens from characters and monsters. A bunch of tokens. A DM screen. I mean, look at this thing. Do I really have to say more? A load of pre-generated characters using some awesome new classes and, last but not least, an easy-to-learn set of standalone rules, which means you can pick this up even if you've never even played D&D. Oh, and some dice. Go to magehandpress.com and back the Kickstarter today. If you're like me, you play